Okay, so for Columbina Ineffa stuff, I want to take a look at, should we just start with Flins because it's the most like straightforward one? I guess, right? Flins, Ineffa, Columbina, and the last one would be Sucrose, right? We can't really do, well, I wonder if we ever try to TTDS Columbina into Ineffa, because you definitely can TTDS into Flins, but TTDSing into Ineffa should be very similar. But I don't know if that's better than Proto Amber, because it will make Columbina's ER requirements a lot harsher to reach, because like you should be getting 1.5, 1.6, 4-ish from Flins, 8 from 2E Sucrose. No favs here. 160 ER requirements with Proto Amber, 230 without it, 186 with fav. We are on Serenade. I think it's probably a fav angle then. Oh, there is Electro Resonance. That's true. I forgot. That's what, 3 more particles here. 30 from subs, which I guess isn't that bad, right? There's only 10 from subs. Maybe you can get 30 from subs. Maybe it's doable. Why not Sucrose and TDDS like usual? Ineffa kind of pops off here. We'll take a look at TDDS as well, but I don't even know if it's better. Yeah, if we don't have an energy weapon at all, our ER requirements are at 214. That's 45 ER on top of main stat plus 2Ps. That's probably a bit too high. So I don't think you want to go TDDS on Columbina. I think for now we'll look at Fav. Nah, let's look at Amber. Would ER Sans, J Columbina be better? ER Sans isn't enough. You would need ER Sans plus something else. Like, your ER requirements on a weapon that doesn't help it with energy at all are at like 200 and something. So you need to get a lot of ER from substats. Is it a meaningful difference to switch the sets on Ineffa and Columbina? It's probably not that big of a deal, no. Okay. Next up is Ineffa. 330, 454. Attack percent. We don't have the weapon, but we do have a little bit from deathmatch, so 24. Okay. Damage percent. We basically have 0 as well. Elemental mastery. All right, let's see what we got. So we don't have the 160 from Flins's thing. We do have the burst. We have Sucrose. We have Serenade. We have substats. We have Dawn. Yeah. But we'll also need to have when Sucrose buffs expire. Yeah. Then the EM multiplier when Sucrose buffs are up. Yeah. Then when Sucrose buffs are not up. Yeah. Okay. But we don't have this 48 from weapon or this 20 from passive, right? Okay. Crit value. Instead of this 60, we have 36.8 times 2 from deathmatch. That's it. Oh, I forgot the 60% from the Dawn set. I need to add that. Plus 60%. There we go. Effective attack. Same as this. Effective attack lunar. Same as this. Lunar charge proc. Same as this. Motion value. Ineffa. 146.9. 163.2 times 9. 1150.6 divided by 2. Motion value lunar. I guess I should have another thing here, right? Yeah. So for the downtime, it's this. Then here we will have 4 times 65 times 3 during downtime and 5 times 65 times 3 during uptime, which means these 7 divided by 2 are here and these 5 divided by 2 are divided by 1 are here. Okay. Damage lunar. This one is uptime, right? Yup. This one is downtime. Lunar charge. This one is uptime. This one is downtime. This makes sense. Okay. Next up, Columbina. We should be able to just copy this. How does this compare to what other people are getting with for Flins, by the way? Similar. I've seen 130, about 10k higher. Flip got 143. You remove the new... Oh, you're right. She's not on Dawn. You're right. My bad. 140. But maybe 18 seconds is too optimistic. I don't know. I think you have time, honestly. I think 18 should be fine. I mean, technically, yes. Can you do deathmatch on Flins? I don't like doing deathmatch on Flins because he gets too much crit rate. You check with TDDS Sucrose? Sure, I guess. It's very similar. But TDDS generates more energy, and I didn't account for that. TDDS should be better. Or Sac Frag generates more energy, and I didn't account for that. So Sac Frag should be better. Next up, let's take a look at Durin Fischl, I guess. So what would you do? On-field Columbina? Or are you talking about Flins? Because I don't know if I'd want to do that with Flynn. I guess if you don't have Ineffa. Sure, let's take a look. Okay. What if you go attack Goblet? That's worse. Okay. Durin. Yup. Okay. Huh. Interesting. Now replace Flins with Ineffa. The only problem with that is that, like, yeah, it's gonna be about as good, but, like, what do you gain out of having Ineffa over Flins here? Not much, right? Replace Flins with Lauma? No, that's gonna be ass. Columbina on field for lower ER requirements? I mean, I guess. We can take a look at Iron Sting here. Slightly worse. We can take a look at Noblesse. Slightly worse, but, like, basically the same. Yeah, okay. Zappos would be better. I mean, yeah, but not everyone has it. I think you're missing a 2-piece on Durin? Here? No. The new set is 43% attack, 18 plus 25. So, yeah, we can take a look at no Durin either. So if you're only 5-star for Flins, it's Columbina. Wait, I forgot about something here. You get less total lunar charges in this team because Durin application kind of screws your aura a little. So you're not hitting exactly every 1.5 seconds anymore. Because sometimes at the 1.5 second mark, one of your auras is missing because of Durin's vape. So instead of a total of 18, it'll probably be like 16-ish total. Sorry, instead of a total of 12, it'll probably be like 10-ish total. Yeah. And then with Sucrose, we don't have that problem. So this team is a decent amount lower, right? Not having the attack buff for Fischl is kind of meh. And the fact that the main thing Fischl provides here is EM, and that's also what Sucrose provides, makes their buffs a little bit redundant. I guess this team, you probably go TTDS on Sucrose, actually. Yeah, you do. Yeah, so for this one, you know, it's lower. This is not quite as high as Flins Ineffa with 2 4-stars, but it's pretty close. It's not that far behind. I still don't know. What the fuck am I gonna do for Columbina? Like, because I don't have enough. So if I do something, it'll be with Lauma. And honestly, I'm not convinced that the vape stuff is like good. It seems so cringe to play. Now that I've seen her charge attack animation, it looks kind of unpleasant. Maybe, and hear me out here, chat. Maybe the play is let's use Barbara as our placeholder for Columbina. Maybe the play is Lauma, Durin, Escoffier. let me cook, okay? Because like with this, you'll be able to vape all of Columbina's vapeable hits. You'll have a healer. You'll melt all of Escoffier's meltable hits. You'll have enough Lunar Bloom for 6 charge attacks. You'll get a good amount of Burgeons. Like, I feel like I'm onto something with this one. Calc it then? Okay, I will. So let's look at Columbina, Lauma, Durin, Escoffier. Is there ever a world where a different Pyro is better than Durin here? Probably not, right? Yoimiya. True. Okay. Columbina would be on Amber, Sky, Lauma would be on Spindleloot. Deepwood? Durin probably builds full EM here. Escoffier. We want someone on Serenade and someone on Deepwood, right? So the question is, if we're gonna have one of these 3 characters on a damage set, who benefits from it the most? I think Lauma's contribution is higher, but her damage set options suck. Lauma on the new set. She doesn't like the new set. Because her damage isn't done by her. Her damage is done by Columbina, but it's with her stats. So like her damage set would be gilded. I guess we can take a look at gilded Lauma. At least this team gets the full 230 EM. She needs the ER from Silken. Meh, I don't know about that. Because the only stats she care about are EM and ER. So getting a decent amount of ER is like not bad. It's not that difficult. Like I have a lot of ER on my Deepwood. I don't know about my Gilded, but whatever. Anyways, Durin. For now, let's have Durin on Deepwood, Escoffier on Serenade. But we'll take a look at the other combinations later. What is Escoffier even doing? She's allowing Columbina to get blooms. If you just have Columbina, Lauma, Durin, Columbina vapes but never blooms, right? With Escoffier, she now blooms every single hit. How does that work? Burning Aura is 2U. Applying Hydro to that triggers vape but not bloom. If you weaken the aura with any reaction, it becomes less than 2U, and then you can do both with one application. Why not Charlotte? What does Charlotte do that Escoffier doesn't? Escoffier does a decent amount of damage on this team. Although, honestly, you could consider Seat Lally. Straight up. I don't hate the idea of going Seat Lally, actually. Wait, maybe Seat Lally is the play. Yeah. Right, get our Shred for Columbina damage. But I guess the Escoffier is also a little bit of Shred, right? It's just 10%, but it is there. I think we'll stick to Escoffier for now. Okay. Now, let's take a look at what happens if we go damage percent instead of HP. It is a little bit higher. Yeah. Hydro Goblet a tiny bit better here. Okay. Next up is Lauma. Who's reacting in this team? Yes. Columbina triggers Vape, Lunar Bloom, like the reaction, and Lunar Bloom damage. Lauma does Lunar Bloom damage and burning. Durin does burning and burgeon. And Escoffier does melt. So yeah, this. All right. Next up is Durin. Gets shredded by Durin only, so it's 35. So 1.125. Then the rest of his damage is Dendro. That's 1.4. There we go. Oh, it's not 35. You're right. It's 20. You're right. My bad. And then, yep. Okay, and finally, Escoffier. Total is 140k. All right. Yeah, that seems pretty good. Would Ineffa be better here? Probably, yes. Ineffa would not get any lunar charge, though. So it's like strictly just like overload Ineffa. But we don't really have anyone else that has electro application at a consistent once per 2 second speed, right? It has to be consistent. If you apply too much electro, like with Fischl, you'll lose vapes on Columbina, and that's pretty bad. Why Proto Amber? We need the energy. If we don't go Proto Amber, we need to go ER Sands. So you can think of Amber's passive as giving you a full ER Sands worth of stats, so it's actually a really good weapon here. How about Yelan? Yelan is actively very bad here. You yoink some of your vapes on Columbina, and you yoink the Lauma procs from Columbina, because you trigger more bloom, so you start giving the Lauma procs to Durin, and the Lauma proc on Durin is a lot worse than the Lauma proc on Columbina. You don't want to have too many Burgeons, basically. Is this charged at Columbina? Yeah, it is. Albedo. The problem with Albedo here is that his Geo application is really slow, right? Because it's standard ICD, so it generally applies Geo every other other hit. Can Columbina even vapor charge attack? No, it's not even hydro damage. But you're not using normal attacks, which means that the only hydro application you have is her skill and burst. And those can vape. She's like Columbina's damage profile, a third of it is hydro vapes. A little bit less than a third of it is her own Lunar Bloom damage. And the rest is Lauma's buff to Lunar Bloom. Like, if we put this here, as you can see, right? If we give the Lauma damage to Lauma, this is a dual carry team, if anything. You get another Witch with Albedo, also less blooms generated is more Lauma stocks used on Bina. The problem is that your Lunar Bloom frequency will be too low, so you won't be able to do as many charge attacks, which actually becomes a problem. We could look at Sitlali, sure. Would your rotations go Sitlali before or after Durin? Probably after, right? And it doesn't matter. Both of them are gonna have really low attack. I don't know, man. It's just gonna be the fucking same. I don't want to bother with this. It's straight up just gonna be the same. In practice, it might be worse because Sitlali app might not be full uptime. Maybe with Sack you can get close, but meh. What about Venti? See, now that's an interesting idea. Now I like that one. I like that idea. I can get behind that. Venti or even Sucrose, actually. Wait, Sucrose might be fucking insane here. But let's start with Venti. What weapon would he go? I think the biggest problem with Venti here is that he's gonna start yoinking some of the reactions. So you kind of have to build him fully M2. But the biggest upside is you're now getting fucking air fryer. So in AoE, it kind of pops the fuck off. Oh, you lose the blooms? No, because Animal Application does the same thing as Cryo Application here. And Venti's uptime is like actually pretty good now. You got like 4 seconds of downtime here before you can burst again. I don't have the energy for it though, but although I have Animal Resonance, so it's actually like 5 seconds, but whatever. Wouldn't Venti Power Infusion cook you? No, because the Pyro Infusion does not refresh the 2U on burning. The reason why burning prevents blooms and vapes from happening at the same time is because it's exactly 2U. If it was 1.999U, you'd be able to get both. Venti's burst like that, it doesn't apply 2U Pyro. So the swirl is going to reduce the aura, and sure, you'll apply more Pyro, but it won't be 2U. And because it's not 2U anymore, you can get your double reactions now. Can I show this in AoE anywhere?
Time for takeoff.
As you can see, we get the blooms. Okay, Lauma, I was too slow for Lauma app to fucking hit them. And their Venti burst had expired, and now they're just dead. That's kind of hard to show. But you get the idea, right? You need just any form of a reaction that doesn't yoink the Pyro and happens often enough that you'll get it for each Hydro application. Yeah, you could definitely just do Sucrose. The thing is, Sucrose kind of needs to be swapped back in for it to work well, because I don't think you want to rely on Sucrose burst. And I don't know if quick swap Columbina Sucrose is going to feel good. I don't think you can swap out of Columbina's charge attack in a way that feels good. So that's why I'm not too like excited about using Sucrose here. Kazuha burst, that could work, but Kazuha doesn't really do anything for the team, so I don't love it. Sucrose burst is also 20-second cooldown if you rely on that. Yeah. Razor? No, you want an off-fielder. Is there ever a world where you use Aura on? No, not really. Right? Because like really what you want is something with that has like fast or where like the speed of application just it can't be too fast. Is like Cryo, Animo, Geo. These 3 elements could work as long as they're faster than 2 seconds. Then Electro can work as long as it's exactly 2 seconds. So it's pretty much only Ineffa. And that's it. Because Dendro doesn't help, more Hydro doesn't help, and obviously Pyro doesn't help. Lila, you could use Lila, yeah. Lila works. It's not really better than Escoffier, but if you want a shielder, it definitely works, yeah. Diona application is too fast, unfortunately, because a 200 EM would be nice. Or too slow, sorry. Like, you need someone with, like, at least relatively fast application. And we just don't have that many of those. If you could get Jahoda to actually hit with Animo instead of her fucking stupid-ass elements, she'd be good here. But you can't, so sucks to be you, I guess. I thought Diona was every 2 seconds. It hits every 2 seconds, but it has standard ICD, so it applies every 4 seconds. Rosaria would work, but it might be... the uptime might be too low. We can look at Rosaria. Let's look at Venti first, like, properly. Venti on Serenade. Probably Fav in this one. Because, like, I was looking at Hydro, Lauma, Durin, Venti teams during Durin pre-release. And, like, I was relatively, like, optimistic about them. But I was using shit like Ayato. And with Columbina, it's, like, miles above. It's like, these teams should be pretty good. Does Venti get any Burgeons? Yeah, he's gonna yoink some Burgeons. But because he has almost as much EM as Durin, and honestly, you don't even necessarily care about him being on Fav. You could have him on Stringless if your artifact quality is good enough that you can reach the ER requirements on Stringless, because he has the ER Ascension and the thingy, right? And if you do, he just straight up has as much EM as Durin does, because neither of them are on a set that actually gives them EM. So it's just main stats and substats. So it doesn't matter if he's yoinking. Maybe there's a world where he yoinks enough that that Durin is better off on a non-EM build, but I'm not mapping out the reactions for this, and it's going to be a small difference, so I don't care that much. So the Venti team in single target is a tiny bit worse, but total AoE. What gets doubled? The swirls get doubled, the burgeons get doubled. That's it. You don't have sustain here, but all of your characters have a range, so you can hit them from afar. None of your abilities care about you being close to enemies. I guess Lauma does. I don't know. Where's burning damage? I'm pretending burning doesn't exist, but obviously it'll be a little bit higher than that. Your sustain is Proto Ember. Yeah, but it's a little sus. I don't know if it's enough. Maybe it is, because you are on fielding an HP scaler, so the Proto Ember healing is actually pretty good, but it's not going to be like particularly comfortable, you know? Why is Columbina dealing 88k? Because she's a balance unit, I think. As if 40% of that isn't Lauma. Your thoughts on C6R1 Columbina, worth it or not? I don't think it's ever worth it to go for high cons on characters, because like, what are you gonna do with that character? What content are you gonna go for that like requires that? If you actually care about like speedrunning Dire, then sure. If not, in my eyes, the like fun returns on that investment are just so low. But her cons are like, I think they're kind of similar to Farina cons in that they're not that big, but because Columbina is gonna be in a lot of different teams, they're gonna be a medium deal in a lot of teams, right? Do you think Columbina is power creep or are Lauma and Ineffa the problem? Initially, I thought it was just Lauma and Ineffa, but looking at these things, I'm not sure anymore. Maybe her motion value is just higher than it should be, right? Because like 15.9 every 2 seconds is like, because it's full uptime, it's in an 18-second rotation, plus the cast, plus the burst, 220. And like, let's have a comparison to Yelan. 38.4, 12.42, 8.28 times 3 times, let's say 10 waves. It's like not that far behind Yelan motion value. But the thing is, that's not Columbina's main source of damage even. Like, why are these numbers so reasonably high? Well, I feel like they have no business being this high. I don't know. And it can vape. Yeah, unlike Yelan, it can vape reliably. It's all vapeable. She traded her base attack for that? Yeah. Venti? Yeah. Venti actually like puts in a lot of work in this team. Real nice. We can take a look at like a Revvape, Columbina, and other teams too. Like with Kinich, for example. The problem is that with Kinich, you can't play Lauma. Because if you go Kinich, Lauma, Pyro, Columbina doesn't bloom anymore. And without the lunar blooms, she's kind of pathetic. Yeah, so like if you don't bring Lauma, I guess you don't really care about the lunar bloom anymore. But you still kind of do. She only accumulates gravity for 2 seconds after lunar reactions. So if you're not triggering them reliably, she doesn't get a lot of gravity. So she wouldn't really get any of this in a Kinich team unless you're bringing off-field application of something else. Which I guess you could. Like Kinich, Fischl, Durin, Columbina. But I don't know if it's enough damage to warrant that. I guess it is. Like, it's not like, no, because this is including the normal attacks, or the charge attacks, I mean. Without the charge attacks, yeah, maybe it's not worth it, actually. But then what do? You don't really want to bring Emilie, because the inconsistent burning uptime is going to make Emilie a lot worse. So I guess you just bring, like, Yonsan. Yonsan won't buff Columbina's damage percent, though, which is a little tragic. Is it just Lauma anyways? It might just be Lauma anyways. Just because she shreds Dendro and Hydro. Like, no burst Lauma. That's just no burst Lauma, no burst Columbina. Wouldn't it just be a DPS game to burst on them? You're not blooming at all, so no. Whatever. Honestly, what if we tried to come up with some bullshit that doesn't use Columbina charge attack with this? Like, Columbina, that on-field someone else, but like that is still Burgeon. Columbina, Lauma, Durin, and then you on-field. Who could you on-field? You could just do Sucrose. Like, Sucrose would work, but would she be the best? You could do Cryo, Animo. Can't really do Electro, so Geo, right? You're not doing Zabai, because your aura will not be Hydro, so you won't get Lunar Crystal. Navia? I mean, you could, I guess. Yeah. I wonder what her best set would be in this team. It might be Gilded Dreams. I think it is, yeah. Right, people were looking at Columbina Ineffa wheelchair. I want to look at Columbina Lauma wheelchair now. Should we do Wanderer? Columbina on Gilded Dreams, Lauma on Gilded Dreams, Durin on Deepwood, Wanderer on Serenade. I guess at that point, you'd rather just do Venti. And then it's just this team, but you on-field Venti instead. Why does Bina want Gilded Dreams? Because Gilded Dreams increases her vape damage, but it also increases her lunar damage. Maybe Golden Troop is still better, because it's more stats total. I'll have to check. Like, I guess for now, we just copy this here. We take a look at what happens if we go Gilded versus Golden Troop without the charge attack. Just removing that is 20k DPS. It's only 20k. That's fucking crazy. Yeah, unfielding Columbina does fucking nothing here. Holy shit. Like, it is 20k, but like 20k is not that much when your team DPS is already at fucking 118k without it, you know? Losing Sky should be a bit of a fucking pain in the ass, though. Like, losing the 60% here, losing the 80 EM, and losing the team-wide 10% reaction damage to these. Yeah, so So that's a pretty big deal. Like 16k DPS here from the set. So this is, we give 230 from Gilded. We're at 109k. So Sky, Gilded Dreams, then Golden Troop. Golden Troop is 112. Okay, Golden Troop is better by a little bit. Yeah, probably HP Goblet. I don't know if that's right. Maybe. It's basically the same. Proto Amber isn't needed now. We're still using Burst here. The Burst is still good here. Because like the Burst also does good damage when you cast it, all things considered. Like if we remove the Burst, we lose about 10k team DPS. Yeah, that's not like ideal. If we burst every other rotation and we replace Proto Amber with Widsith, it's a bit better. So the Burst is worth casting, but not worth building ER for. God, I'm getting so confused. Okay, let's properly take a look at what happens with Golden Troop off field like this, where instead of Venti, we're using Sucrose. But it seems to be very similar, like about as good actually. Is this Lunar Burgeon? Yeah, pretty much. What if you do, okay, and I realize just how cursed what I'm about to say is. Okay, so I want you to get ready, all right? Sit, like, strap in because you're about to get shaken to your core. What if you do Charge Shot Jahoda for your NMO application so that you can use Jahoda's, like, CV buff for Columbina? Thoughts? You need to fill the bottle? You don't eat. Oh, no, yeah, you do need to fill the bottle. But it's fine, because you can fill it with Pyro. No problem. Does no charge attack do dendro damage? Yep, it does. This is too much. I'm out of here. Yeah, that's fair, honestly. That's fair. I don't blame you. How long does Lynette Burst last again? 12 seconds. Is it longer with cons? No. Damn. Because like, we don't really have good options for the off-field, so maybe there's like some non-conventional bullshit to be found. Meh. None of these seem appealing here, no. What about this? I mean, you could always just do Null, but like, it's not gonna be that good. You can't really do Zhongli. Application is too slow. Same for Albedo. Ito is just whatever. Meh. Fiori up is too low as well. Yeah, no. No one you can do here. I mean, how bad would like Risley be here, really? Because like you could do Risley here, right? Like Bain-Marie's back, you know? Like you definitely could. Can Risley proc Serenade? Isn't Serenade just doing elemental damage? Yeah, it's dealing elemental damage. It doesn't need to be a skill or a burst. So yes, he can. You could do Ganyu as well. Skirk. I mean, I don't think Skirk is going to be very good here because it's like, I mean, I guess it'll be fine, but like, meh. Won't Ganyu up be too fast. You need to apply Cryo 4 times between your Pyro and your Hydro for it to yoink. So no, Ganyu won't be too fast. Seatlali. We've already thought about Seatlali. It would work, I guess, but it doesn't really do anything like particular. Chongyun Infusion. But cooldown reduction doesn't help the team, right? Because your damage is all like sustained with long duration and you recast your abilities before the duration is even over anyways. So cooldown reduction doesn't help. Right, like in a perfect world, you would want a character that applies an element to help with the Columbina stuff, but also, actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, if we're doing a team like this, do we even need to trigger more than like 3 blooms per rotation? Not really, right? It's not even 3, it's like 2. We only need to trigger bloom 2 times per rotation because Columbina isn't charge attacking anymore. So we only need to generate the 3 from Lauma. That's it. So maybe we don't need on-fielders that like apply elements. What if we go back to the Mona thing and we just don't even try to on-field Columbina? Mona steals vapes. Yeah, Mona's gonna steal vapes during your setup, but then she stops. It's only during the setup. So you might steal like 2, maybe 3 vapes. That's it. Because Mona's skill duration, if you EQ on Mona, you're done. Like you have done your 4 normal attacks by the time the E explodes. So your first application happens at 58 here and the last one at 54. That's 2 or 3 vapes at most. And if you don't go back to Mona after that, that's just 2 or 3 vapes per rotation you lose on Columbina. The rest you still all get. And there's also a chance that with the way the timing works, it doesn't steal a vape. And also, it's not like vaping on Mona is like an awful thing either. Like it's fine, right? Your vape might end up being on a Mona charge attack or something. Vaping is good, chat. The one thing here is you get less burgeons if you do this, right? And because you're not doing Columbina charge attacks anymore, that does matter. Although maybe you can still do like 1 or 2 charge attacks. Anyways, let's split this so we also have effective attack without the EM multiplier. And then I just need to add Mona damage. But this is looking pretty good, yeah. This is C4 Mona though, yeah. But I think I kind of want to stick to the Sucrose version. I kind of like that one more because there's just too much of Columbina's damage that isn't like properly Mona buffed. So I feel like I'd rather just focus on her damage. Although maybe in this team you don't need Proto Amber because you have Mona particles and she's on Fav. And then on-field Mina is just way better than on-fielding Mona. This isn't really on-field Mona. This is just four normals on Mona and then you swap out. Yeah, I guess you don't have any sustain anymore if you do that though. That's true. By the way, chat, how do you feel about the fact that Mualani is getting power crept 1 patch after she finally got a buff? Thoughts? Any thoughts? You can probably do 3 Columbina charge attacks just to try to use up as many quills as possible. Yeah, you'll probably do something like this. Is Columbina okay energy-wise on a team like this? Because you have so much of your damage that's coming from stuff outside of the lunar reactions. Because by the way, Lauma quills don't get buffed by Columbina's burst. Because Columbina's burst increases the EM multiplier, but Lauma's quills bypass the EM multiplier. They look at Lauma's EM and they get multiplied by crit, but they don't actually get increased by the EM multiplier. So the only part of your damage that actually does get increased by Columbina's burst is her own lunar bloom, which is 20% of her of the damage she does, and like 12%, no, 15% maybe of the team DPS. So yeah, like if you can get away, like if you don't have the burst, you just don't use it and it's fine. You're not losing out on that much. Honestly, I'm actually kind of curious about this. If you don't burst on Columbina, you lose the 40% from both of these. You lose 3k DPS from not having the lunar reaction damage bonus. You lose 10k DPS from the burst not dealing the damage it does when it vapes. So the main reason you want to burst is not because of the buff, it's because of the damage it does. I think that's very funny. I think that's humorous. Although, wait, I just realized I'm giving the fucking Golden Troop damage percent to the burst right now. Oopsie. Wait, so maybe Golden Troop isn't better than Gilded then. Let's double check. Plus 30. No, it still is. Wait, I forgot to make the burst vape. All right. I just really want to run Albedo here. Honestly, maybe Albedo is better than I gave it credit for, because you don't actually need to trigger that many blooms. All right, fuck it. Let's take a look at Albedo then. So yeah, Albedo's at around 128. This is assuming 3 charge attacks on Columbina, but you might be able to do more. Does 8 blooms make sense here? I think that's a bit too many, actually. It's probably more like 6. Yeah, I think that's it. Who else would work here? I feel like I'm probably just gonna be playing this one, and maybe the Sucrose one too.
Goose on the loose.
Yeah!
Goose on the loose.
Who's on the loose?